Happy Aloha Tuesday. Welcome to the Hawaii Fishing Gear Show. If you folks have questions about Hawaii fishing, and we invite you to drop them in the comments right now while we're live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Let's see. If you're watching it later in the day, like I know a lot of you, I'm always missing your lives and I got questions and stuff. Send us an email. You can post in the comments after the video's posted. We'll do our best to respond to every question. A lot of you guys got some great questions. But go ahead and post them right now in the comments. And let me, I was kind of thinking about how to word this. I don't know, like, I pay attention to what happens on social media. And I think what would be my personal nightmare happened over the weekend. Somebody was drone fishing. Drone fishing is illegal in the state of Hawaii. I sold my drone the moment that that drone fishing was outlawed. Some people still continue to do it. It's a no-no. It's against the law. And somebody finally caught that 100-pounder. And you don't get to celebrate it. You don't, because you're illegally drone fishing. You don't get to celebrate it. I think they asked if we could weigh it, and we refused to weigh it. We told them, if you guys are still illegally drone fishing, don't weigh your stuff at our shop. So, kind of sucks. You catch a 100-pounder, and you can probably brag about it to your friends, but you can't post that on social media. You're going to get shot down. But let's go ahead and see. What's up, Country Living? Long time no see, brother. Let's go ahead and check and see what we got in questions. I see nothing on YouTube just yet. Okay, Uncle Bill, is Castmaster with a bubble a good idea? I think the Castmaster on the lighter side with the bubble, like maybe like one of that, like 1/8 of an ounce, would probably work okay on the bubble. But when you get to the heavier Castmasters, like the 3/4 ounce or the 1 ounce Castmasters that a lot of guys like to just troll, like whipping without anything else, you're probably going to get that helicopter. When you have a 2 ounce bubble and on the end of your line you have something that's going to be like 1/2 ounce or heavier, you're going to get a line twist tangle that we call a helicopter action. Usually happens. But if you you can probably get by with casting an 1/8 of an ounce Castmaster on the end of your big bubble setup. All right, let's go and see what other questions we got. Stick to the smaller ones if you're going to. All right. Okay. Kids love their Hawaiian Levia. Restocked our glow flies today. Levia flies. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. He's got us restocked. It's called Levia Flies Glow Flies. He restocked all of the different colors. Some of you guys had probably used them in the past, and they don't last very long. But the Glow Flies from Levia Flies are restocked on our website, and it's always good seeing you and the kids at the shop, man. What's up, Sandman? Okay, how you feel about the... Oh, you know what? Country Living, I don't really have an opinion on that just yet, brother. Okay, recommended line size for the G454 and in no letter 447 braid backing. Okay, so let's break down Newell reels. So G Graphite 454, the 454 stands for 40-pound test, 540 yards. The 454 can probably handle 50, no problem. And the 447 40-pound test, 470 yards. So both of those reels can handle 50-pound tests. And braid backing, you can probably go 50-pound braid and backing if you wanted to. 50-pound test will be fine on that. Okay, are you guys going to the... No, that is their own expo, not ours. We are gonna be going to the outdoor expo, which is June 14th and 15th, Father's Day weekend. We'll be at the Hawaii Outdoor Expo. We'll have Major Craft with us in the same booth. We're gonna have rods for sale, and we'll be making custom hats and shirts. Mark your calendar. June 14th is a Saturday, and June 15th, which is a Sunday, and Sunday is Father's Day. If you bring your kids and you pay for your kids to get in, fathers get in free on Father's Day, Sunday, Father's Day. Okay. Let's see. Any major craft coming in soon? Yes. Sign up for notifications on the rods you're looking for. We just got notification that an order is on its way. Will you guys be bringing in Shimano lures? Philip, you know, Shimano lures are released across the country, and, you know, they're always coming up with new lures. Not all of them will apply to the way that we fish in Hawaii. Some of them are for the boat. Some of them are like plugging lures, and they're kind of pricey. So I've noticed through the years that when we will bring in a lure, it'll sell really well for like the first month. And then after that, after the first couple months, when everybody's got them out for sale, they start getting a little dusty. So we kind of pull back a little bit, not really too deep on Shimano stuff. All right. Would 8-foot kayak be good enough for paddle out lines, 5'11", 190 person? 8-foot. If you're talking about a Scrambler XL, that's a great freaking kayak for exactly what you're talking about. It really depends on that person's ability to kayak, because like I'm a heavier guy, an 8-foot kayak might not be stable for me. But if somebody's 5'11", 190 pounds, it depends on their kayak skills. I'd be wary of going out in heavy waves, but it might work. You know, no, you got to try it out. Okay, let's see. Torium 30. Let's see. I run both for my 12-foot ugly sticks on sturgeon fishing. Cast up to 12. Okay. What's wrong with ugly stick 10 to 12-foot big water rods? What is wrong with the ugly stick 10 to 12-foot big water rods? Nothing that I can think of, to be honest. The 10 to 12-foot are probably one of our better selling rods, especially from Ugly Stick. $70 MSRP for 10 and 12 footers. The only thing I think that doesn't apply to a lot of the new people is that it's not stiff. Like a lot of guys like that more stiffer, faster action rod where there's not a whole lot of bend in the tip. You can get probably a little bit further cast with those styles of rods based on what people are used to. The Ugly Sticks are kind of whippy in the tip, and it takes a little bit of a learning curve to go from that stiffer rod to that whippier tip rod. But all in all, nothing wrong. I think one of my first rods was an Ugly Stick. It took a little bit of a learning curve to learn how to cast it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. They're great rods. We still sell them to this day. Okay. Hurting for sturgeon. I don't know what your question was. I apologize, man. It looks like you were just kind of stating it. Okay. Let's see. What's the difference between the regular J-line and the Sakura? Okay, so regular J-line and Sakura are basically the same line. Sakura, pink. It's a pink. A lot of people say that it's more invisible in the water. So if you're live baiting, a lot of people prefer that pink. But in regards to breaking strength, toughness, durability, and all that stuff, Sakura line and the regular red label J-line are basically the same line. Just the Sakura has a pink coloring to it. Yellow one is a little bit different material. What's the best time to akule fish? And I'm not BSing you when I say this. Whenever you get a chance to go fishing. I see certain spots people fish early morning, midday, whenever they have time. Sometimes they bite midday, sometimes they bite sunset, sometimes they bite early morning. Just go. Don't be concerned about, oh, I don't like go because the bite not going to be that bad. Sometimes you just got to go. The schools are usually in those spots no matter what time of the day. So I think the best time to akule fish is when you have time, go fish. And that applies to a lot of different types of fish, by the way. Okay. Okay, let's see what other questions we got. What rig do I use if I'm using flies? The most popular way to whip with flies is the big bubble, fluorocarbon leader, 15 to 20 pound test, tied off to your saltwater deceiver. Length of the leader, arm span is the standard. If you feel comfortable with longer, go for it. If you feel comfortable with shorter, I don't think it's going to be a big, huge issue. That bubble causes a nice little commotion and splash in the water. It also keeps your fly off the ground and less chance to get hung up because it floats on the top. So big bubble and fly is the way to go for flies. And if you're feeling a little bit more hammer and you want to bring that fly a little bit closer to the reef, Some guys will throw egg lead, but that's just asking for get hung up. Okay. Let's see. What's your favorite Mark White lure? I always gravitate towards the Owama. I like that olive green on the top and that pale white combination color on the bottom. I like the Owama, but then also when he made our little gold bars, that's one of my new go-tos. That all full gold bars. Yeah, there you go. Just color, no difference in the stiffness in regards to the red label and the Sakura label. There is no difference. There's no difference in stiffness. It's the same thing. When you get to the yellow budget-friendly label, that one is a little bit stiffer. Okay, any events coming up, swap meet or meet and greets? We are going to have another swap meet the first weekend of June. I'll give you the date on that right now as I look at our calendar. June 7th. June 7th is the first Saturday of June. We will be having a swap meet on that day. It'll be the last one that we have outside of our shop. We have set an opening date for our new shop across the street, and that is going to be July 1st. It's not a grand opening. It's just that we're going to switch shops from this one to the one across the street, the new shop, on July 1st. That'll be our first day of operating at the new location. All right? And then we're going to have a grand opening the following weekend. Not the July 4th weekend, but the weekend after that. Okay. Let's see. Mahalo for the advice about whipping line and length. I doubled what I normally catch this past weekend. Hey, man, it makes me really happy. I hear people saying it all the times in the shop. I've learned a lot from watching these videos. Don't forget to come back and ask more questions, because the questions that you guys come up with, there's a lot of people out there that have the same questions. Some of them are just afraid to ask, or they don't get a chance to ask while they're live. So you guys don't forget to just keep asking questions. The more you ask, the more we get to share, the more people we help out. And also, if you leave a like on the video, it helps us reach more people too, yeah? Okay. Let's see what else. You don't feel like one sinks faster, or you're talking about Sakura line and stuff like that. Half a day. Somebody says hi from Guam. Half a day, brother. We get a lot of customers from Guam, and in case you just happen to be tuning in from Guam, we share some of the similar Pacific tropical waters, and we share some of the same target fish. Did you guys know akule in Guam is called atulai? And how you say aloha in Guam is half a day. All right. Any decent fly fishing gear on the shop? Thinking about trying that out. Country Living, nope. We don't deal with fly fishing rods and reels yet. Maybe eventually we will, but I don't see that anytime soon. Okay. Best rod for a 4K Stratic. 4K Stratic is a max 20-pound braid, probably best suited with 15-pound tests. And I would say most 4K reels, you're going to cap it off with a rod that's rated up to 1.5 ounces. 9-foot Shimano Scimitar. They keep cutting off on Instagram. My apologies. If for a 4K Stratic, 9-foot Scimitar, heavy action, it's rated up to 1.5 ounces. That's a cherry combination for that. You can't throw it a big bubble full of water, but you can throw it up about half to 3/4 of the way full. And I'm going to say this real quick. Hawaiian Lavaya and Tyler Lures, they're going like way off the deep end when it comes to, he's using 2-pound test J-line. He's saying that he notices a difference in floatability, like how quickly the line will sink. You guys are getting super technical on that, and I'm wary of you guys going off the deep end because you might confuse other people. All right, you guys are going really deep, and you might confuse other people. As far as I'm concerned, the pink line and the red label line, there is no difference in the way that it feels. I don't feel that there's a difference in the floatability as well. Now you guys are like, these guys are okay. They're overanalyzing. Be careful not to overanalyze and be in your head too much. Sometimes you just gotta go fish and try things, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Here we go. All right. What's your thoughts on J-Line Blue? J-Line Blue. I've never seen the J-Line Blue. All right. Tikka salmon steelhead discontinued. Yes, it has been discontinued. I have seen their, I guess their substitute for the Tikka salmon steelhead rod. They're going with the Tikka wasabi rod. I checked them out, and I don't feel that those rods will pair nicely with the way that we fish. The lure ratings on them are all kind of too heavy. They're more along the lines of like an M cast or a Okuma Rockaway on the heavier action side. That's kind of how it feels. Some of them had lure ratings up to 4 ounces. For me, that's way too much for like a whipping pole. All right. What's a good pole to match with a Penn Fierce 5K? If you wanted to throw plugs with it, we're talking about a Penn 5000 series size. This will apply to the Penn Pursuit 5K, the Rack 2 5K, the Fierce, and the Battle 5K. It's gonna be either a medium dunking rod or a plugging reel. You can spool it up with braid if you want to throw big lures on a 9-foot or a 10-foot rod. That'll pair up nicely with a 9-foot or 10-foot Penn rod. You can also pair it up with a 5K. Say for instance something like an Okuma Rockaway, 12-foot medium, rated up to about 3 ounces. 12-foot medium heavy I think is rated up to 4 ounces. That'll pair up nicely. It's a smaller profile reel. You want to try to get a smaller profile rod. You can also use it for secondary dunking as well. Okay, are you guys gonna start selling? No, King Von. We're not interested in carrying that company's rods whatsoever. All right. Is the Yozuri 1 ounce Hydro Monster Shot good for whipping? I think you're talking about the 7/8 ounce Yozuri Hydro Popper. That is a long time standing all around great whipping reel for a rod that's rated up to 1 ounce. Okay. We sell a lot of those. We've been selling them consistently for the last 10 years. Great rod, great lure. I would have half my impulse buys if it wasn't in Tyler. There you go. When would you choose HCS Menpachi rod 12-foot over the 10-foot 7? Is a preference only. Okay, the 10-foot 7, the reason why we promote that so much is it's meant for Menpachi, but the length, the lure rating, makes it an all-around, like, all-season whipping pole. You can use it for Menpachi if you wanted to at 10-foot 7. You can use it for whipping big bubble. You can use it for throwing like 1.5 ounce poppers. It's like an all-around 10-foot 7 rated up to a 25-pound test, and it's rated up to 2 ounces. It's a great all-around, pairs up nicely with a 5K Shimano. When would I use the 12-foot versus the 10-foot? When I'm fishing off of a cliff and there's a little bit of rocks on the bottom and I need that extra length to bring my fish and my lures or whatever I'm casting away from the rubble, where I don't get hung up on the edge of the reef, where I can bring it up and gives me a little bit more leverage. That's when I would go with the 12-foot over the 10-foot 7. Okay. Let's see. You'd be surprised which one sinks faster. Okay. Any tips for live lining? Any tips for live lining? Number one, just know your drag. Know your drag and know... Because the thing is, like, okay, so if you guys don't know what live lining is basically when you have a live fish hooked up and you allow it to basically just swim at its own leisure with the hook still in it. And the way that you can do that is by using a live liner reel, which has basically like a live bait drag setting, and then also a secondary setting for when you get the hook up, you flip the first part of the drag, and it gets it set on a second, like the drag that you want for the live bait. My only advice is to basically just know your drag, because the last thing you want is to a fish to bite your bait, your live bait, start nibbling on it, and then you get all excited because it's taking out line and you know it's on. You flip the switch or you flip the bail, depending on how you're doing it, and then it just meets a heavy drag, because then all you're going to do is you're just going to spit hook every single time, or the fish will let go. So you definitely want to have a lighter drag when you do flip the live line drag. It's two drags. It's like the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like it's the secondary part of the live lining. That's the only advice I can give on that. Fish not gonna bite if your line is not wet. Yes, sir. No can catch on the couch. It's true. Okay. Let's see what other questions. What's up, AJ? How's RJ? New moon or no moon for Mimpachi? I hear things about both. From what I understand, most guys that are like really hardcore into it and they don't have a whole lot of time, they'll focus more on the no moon. All right. Tyler, yeah, I was a little disappointed too that the Tika salmon steelhead is being discontinued, because it's always nice to have a lot of different options, but unfortunately Tika decided that they're done with it. I think the mistake that Tika made with the salmon steelhead line is that they had too many actions. They had everything from 9 foot up to 14 foot. It was just, sometimes you just gotta offer a certain amount of rods, and if it doesn't meet people's standards, let them go somewhere else. You don't have to offer every single option under the board. Just offer something that's going to work for a certain market and stick with it and run it for like 20 plus years. There you go. Let's see, do you guys have glow flies for potchies? King Vaughn, yes we do. Go to High Fish Gear, search for saltwater flies. You'll see a lot of different options that we have, including Levia Flies just restocked us on his locally tied glow flies. We have a lot of different options on our website. Rikumaru braid difference between J braid. June, I would tell you right now, if you are inexperienced with braided line and you haven't been around the block for quite a while, if I put two spools in front of you from between J braid and Rikumaru braid, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference in quality. Okay, Rikumaru, not a big brand. One of the reasons why we like them so much is because we're not being charged for the brand, we're being charged for the quality of the line. And it's not a bad price at $17 versus $22, $27, the price of J-Braid. But I tell you right now, if you didn't really know what you was looking at, you probably couldn't tell the difference. Feels the same. Diameters are very similar. Quality is, I would say, right on point. But it's just not a big brand name. Okay? Ken, still asking for tank tops on YouTube. I hear you, Ken. Summer is here. Tank tops are coming. Okay, what is the difference between the old US made Senators and the new China ones? Okay, when Penn decided to switch their USA made Penn Senators, the 4.0 that we all use here, and also the Jig Master and the 3.0s, they're all made in China now. What's the difference between the two? There was a slight tweak in regards to how each reel is made. The US one is a little more simplistic. The China made one is a little more complicated when it comes to the handle. The handle is one of the main differences. But I would say in stopping power, quality of construction, and all that kind of stuff, I don't really see that there's a huge difference. I still feel like the China mades can handle as much as the US in regards to a brand new out-of-the-box US and a brand new out-of-the-box China. It's just a matter of a USA would probably be pushing 200 plus if it was being made here locally, but I don't see a whole lot of difference. Buy with confidence, the China made 4.0s are still decent reels based on the same design that they've been using for 50 plus years. Okay, and we still sell a lot of them to this day. Let me see, check in. Okay, might be a dumb question, but can you slide bait with a spinner setup? Yes, you can. We've been noticing a lot more people wanting to try slide bait, not just here in Hawaii, but also from all across the country. More and more people are getting into slide bait fishing. Something that was popularized here in Hawaii, but also South America and all that, or sorry, South Africa, Australia, and a lot of places. But Hawaii is kind of the home, I would say, for slide bait fishing. And more people have been tuning into it. We sell a lot of slide bait stuff to people that are trying it across the country. I would say you can slide bait with a spinner. I wouldn't use the heavy hardcore slides that we do sell. Hawaiian Angler. There's also locally made slides that we sell. We sell a light game and a medium game. The light game is going to be for 30 to 40 pound tests. The medium game is going to be a 40 to 50 pound test. You can, if you have, use the light games if you're spinning on a smaller spinner. Make sure you do get the stoppers. They all work for all the different slides. Okay. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. Yes, there is a 4 p.m. auction that's going to start at 9 o'clock. What's a good reel for a heavier rockaway? So when it gets to the heavy action where you start having that 4 ounce lure rating, rockaway is a rod, 4 ounce lure rating. Instead of doing a 5K Stratic, I would probably go to these Shimano SW reels. We're talking about the Shimano Spheros, the Shimano Saragossa. You notice that those reels, the SW models, have a bigger profile, and it seems like a little bit better balance. You can either go with the 5K or a 6K Shimano Spheros. That's a great combination for the heavier action Okuma Rockaways. Okay. What is a good rod reel for throwing 3 ounce stick baits? Me personally, I love the Penn Battalion 9-foot or 10-foot rod. Those have very close to 3 ounce lure ratings. 3J Trippin says, are you guys ever going to have a sale and a clearance? We have auctions. Auctions, brother. Auctions are the way you get the deals. We don't have any clearance sales because the auction guys suck it all up, bro. They take it all. Auctions on our Facebook page. High Fish Gear deals. In 8 minutes, we're going to be starting in 8 minutes, we're going to be starting an auction in our Facebook group. It's a closed group, so we don't let any kooks in. We don't let anybody who's going to come and disrupt our party. But at 4 p.m., High Fish Gear Deals is our Facebook page, so we're going to be having our clearance and sale. You got to come participate. All right. Okay, I think we done 26 minutes, 45 seconds. I think that's a pretty good response. We gave you about 26, almost 27 minutes worth of yapping about fishing. If you guys enjoyed it, if you listen to every minute and you enjoy the conversation, I kindly ask that you leave a like on the video, because it helps us reach more people, and it tells the platforms that we're on that you like it, and it's going to show other people just like you the same videos. All right? Let me answer one more question, then I'm going to say aloha. Tyler asked the Shimano Speedmasters. They are delayed. They were supposed to be coming in April. Never happened. It's coming in. It'll be here when it's here. Sign up for notifications. The moment Shimano gets them, we're going to be getting some. For sure. Okay, Dwayne asks, 9-foot nitro paired with a BG 4K, 20-pound braid is okay? Cherry. All right, 4K with the 9-foot Nitro C-Tech. I'm assuming it's the Nitro C-Tech. That is a great all-around combo. You can use it for light dunking. You can use it for medium whipping. Pretty good combo. Okay, and I think we're all caught up on all the pages. There we go. 27 minutes. Leave a like. We'll catch you guys back here hopefully tomorrow or at least sometime this week with another episode of the Hawaii Fishing Gear Show. Mahalo and aloha.